I've heard people say silly, nonsensical things concerning the sperm and the egg, and I need to clear up some things. If you hear someone say that, oh, the sperm is the life and the egg is dead, that is the most nonsensical thing you can hear somebody say. So let me explain the science to you behind what is happening with respect to the sperm and that egg. Yeah, that sperm, it's got mitochondria. We're going to talk to you about the mitochondria. He has mitochondria coming from his mother. She has mitochondria too. They're in those eggs, the ovum, and the polar bodies. Y'all go back and see my session where I talk about this, the mother cell. But inside of those mother cells, they're mitochondria, and they are in a coma. This is an unnatural state for the mitochondria. Unnatural. Okay? So these mitochondria, they're inside of the ovum or the eggs, and she's in a coma. Let me break this down to you. He got eggs too. By the way, inside of this book, I go deeper into this topic. So you can find this book on UNAuniversity.com, UNAuniversity.com. But I go deeper into this topic. But yeah, that sperm inside of his scrotum or inside of his ovaries, he's got the same egg she's got in her ovaries. When he gets excited, what happens is what's known as spermatogenesis, and her is called oogenesis. And this is where the eggs, they break down. All right? These are mother cells. He got mother cells. Notice I said mother, meaning they all girls. He's got mother cells in his ovum, his ovaries rather, and she's got mother cells in her ovaries. Okay, so watch this now. When his break down, they break down into two, from the mother to two sister cells. And then from the two sister cells, it breaks down to four daughter cells. Hers the same way, 4 daughter cells. The difference is he goes through this thing called spermatogenesis, whereby he's got these bacteria that eat these daughter cells. They consume the daughter cells, and then they develop, those bacteria have mitochondria that wrap around the tail so that they can swim. Now, let's be clear about this. Once they get to the ovum of the woman, immediately that sperm is killed. It's chopped off, and any mitochondria that came from him is killed as well. Let's be clear about that. So don't tell me that this thing is dead. You always dead, and it's the mitochondria, that she was in an unnatural coma put on her by whoever the beings are that created the human vessel. That's another story. I'm not going into that today. But it is an unnatural state that the mitochondria is put in, because she never sleeps. She's never in a coma. The only reason why she went in a coma because somebody programmed her. The same way you, woman, were programmed to be in a coma. You didn't know you were conquered. Melanated people, the same way you were put in a coma. You didn't know you were conquered. Were you dead? Were you dead? Or is it that you just didn't know? You were put in a coma, and then when you were awakened, you took action. And that's exactly what she did. Because as soon as the sperm hits that egg, hit the egg, boom, head chopped off. Or any mitochondria that might have come in, that's killed. And then she takes the DNA and gets back to work. And then other things happen after that, but I reveal all of that in this book. Get the book, UNAuniversity.com. All right, so we should have an understanding about really how the woman's body is working. We have an understanding that it is the woman who is determining the sex of the child. And lastly, we should have an understanding that the last thing you want to do is to force a woman to give birth to a being that she told you she didn't want. Because let's understand, I talked about this, if she's unbalanced, she's more likely to give birth to a male. And you might say, well, wait, it don't matter where she give birth to a male. Let me tell you why it matters. When we look at statistics, what we find is when we're talking about violence against women and children, more than 85% of the perpetrators are male. When we're talking about RAPE word, more than 85% of the perpetrators are males. It doesn't matter what skin color, what community, what landmass. If we're talking about these issues, more than 85% of the perpetrators are male. When we're talking about violent crimes, more than 85% of the perpetrators are male. If we're talking about murder maze, more than 85% of the perpetrators are male. This is not a diss to my brothers. I'm giving you the straight facts. So if you got women bringing beings in here who are more prone to do these things against society, my whole deal is the last thing that you want to do is to force her to bring more beings that are more prone to do these things. I'm not saying encourage it like what they're doing in the communities with this Planned Parenthood. I'm not saying encourage it because I don't agree with what they're doing either. But what I am saying is all of these regulations that these people are trying to put out, I don't agree with that. As a woman, you can't take away my rights. And I don't have to argue this stuff anyway because I'm sovereign. If I say I want it, then that's what it will be. Remember to keep that bell on for notifications. Follow UNA Republic for more great information.